विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा शील प्रभुपदा। जय प्रभुपदा शील प्रभुपदा। Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So yesterday in 11th chapter of 7th canto Bhagavatam, we discussed the wonderful 30 qualities which should be there if a person has to be called himself as a human. So these are the basic 30 qualities which identifies a person to be a human. If he doesn't have these qualities, that means he is not a human. Simple. So they are satya, austerity, tapasya, there is austerity, cleanliness, tolerance, discrimination between right and wrong, control of the mind, control of the senses, non-violence. So in this way, these are the 30 qualities which we discussed yesterday. If a person doesn't have these qualities, then he cannot be called as a human, or he cannot be put into Varna Ashrama. In the Varnashrama system, only a human is put. Animals cannot be put in Varnashrama. So, if he has to be a human, then he should have these qualities. Unnecessary talk should be avoided. Then, difference between the body and soul should be understood. One should distribute food to the needy people. If a person sees somebody suffering, then he should feel that pain. So, all these qualities actually makes him different from an animal. Animal is not bothered if it hurts somebody, it doesn't cry. But a human should have that pain if he sees others suffering. Non-violence, celibacy, charity, japa, simplicity. So these are the qualities which is supposed to be for a human. After describing these qualities, now general list of 30 qualities has been given. So after that, Narada is speaking to Yudhishthira. that how a person or how a human is put into the Varnashrama system. So the Varnashrama system, it begins with sanskara. Without sanskara, there is no Varnashrama system. It is having a sanskara. The only difference is the Shudras, they have sanskara without mantras. But Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, they have sanskaras with mantras. Only Shudras, they have sanskara without mantras. That is the only difference. But a human is put into these four Varnashrama. संस्कार यत्रा विच्छिन्ना सद्विजो अजो जगादयम् इज्याध्ययन दानानि विहितानि द्विजन्मनान् जन्मकर्मावदातानां क्रियाश्चाश्रम चोदितः संस्कार यत्रा विच्छिन्नः सद्विजो अजो जगादयम् इज्याध्यायान दानानि विहितानि द्विजन्मनां जन्मकर्मावदातानां क्रियाश्चाश्रमचोदितः. So here, what are the duties of a Brahmana, or how the human can be known as a Brahmana? When he has come in this Brahmana Varna, then how he should be Brahmana Varna, then what are the duties he has to perform if he has to be called as Brahmana? If he has come in Kshatriya Varna, then what are the duties he has to perform? Everybody has a certain duties. So let us see what is the duty of a Brahmana. Brahmana is there, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. The four things has been given here. Samskaraha, the reformatory processes, yatraha, wherein, avichinnaha, without interruptions, saha, such a person, dvija, twice born, ajaha, that is Lord Brahma, jagadaha, sanctioned, yam, who, ijjaha, worshipping, adhyayana, studies of the Vedas, danani, charity, then vihitani, prescribed, dvijanmanam, of persons who are called twice born, janma by birth, karma and activities, avadatanam, who are purified, kriya activities, cha also, ashrama choditaha, recommended for the four ashramas. Now translation. Those who have been reformed by the Garbhadhan ceremony and other prescribed reformatory methods, performed with Vedic mantras and without interruptions, and who have been approved by Lord Brahma, are Dvija or twice born. Such Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya, purified by their family traditions and by their behavior, should worship the Lord, study the Vedas and give charity. In this system, they should follow the principles of the four ashrama, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. So very nicely it has been described here. So the Garbhadhana sanskar, it starts with the sanskara. So there are sanskaras which has to be performed. It begins with Garbhadhan sanskara. So if a human is put in the Garbhadhan sarka, if the whole thing is starting with the Garbhadhan sanskara, then that human is known as Dvija. Dvija means now he is twice born. And such sanskaras are very much required for the families coming in Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya. The only difference for the Shudra is he also has sanskara but without mantras. And then even though he may be in the Brahmana, Kshatriya or Vaishya, but he should follow four ashramas also. That is Varna and this is ashrama. That is Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. So in this way, after giving a general list of 30 qualifications for one's behavior, Narad Muni now describes the principles of four Varnas and four ashramas. Human being must be trained in the above mentioned 30 qualities. So 8th verse to 12th verse we saw the 30 qualities which has been given. Then he can be identified as a human. Otherwise he is not a human being. Then among such qualified persons, now among such humans, the Varnashrama process should be introduced. In the Varnashrama system, the first ceremony for purification is Garbhadhana, which is performed with mantras at the time of sex for propagating a good child. One who uses sex life not for sensual pleasures but only to beget children according to the reformatory method is also accepted as a brahmachari. One should not waste semen on sensual pleasure, violating the principles of Vedic life. Restraint in sex is possible, however, only when the populace is trained in the above mentioned 30 qualities. Otherwise, it is not possible. Even if one is born in a family of Dvija or twice born, if they have not followed the reformatory process, he is called Dvija Bandhu, not one of the twice born, but a friend of the twice born. The whole purpose of this system is to create good population, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. When women are polluted, when a woman is polluted, the populace is Varna Sankara. And when the Varna Sankara population increases, the situation of the entire world becomes hellish. Therefore, all the Vedic literatures strongly warn against creating Varna Sankara population. When there is Varna Sankara population, the people cannot be properly controlled for peace and prosperity, regardless of great legislative assemblies, parliaments, and or similar bodies. So here, Varnashrama system has been described. It's very much important. In the Varnashrama system, we have sanskaras. The sanskaras begin with Garbhadhan sanskara. After the Vivaha sanskara, there is Garbhadhan sanskara. That means one should know the purpose of begetting the child. It is not just for sensual pleasure a person has a sex life. The sex life is a very responsible activity. In this, what is the responsibility? To beget Krishna conscious children. Then the whole populace or the whole population of the world will be very wonderful. If this is not trained properly, then what happens? Then there will be only Varna Sankara. Varna Sankara means unwanted children, uncared children who are not trained. That is why this Garbhadhan Sanskara, where the mantras are chanted, and by the mantras, mantrayatehe mantra. So mantrayate mantra, all that anxiety and sense gratification, all these desires are there at the level of mind. So the mind has to be controlled. So for controlling the mind, there are mantras. That is why the samskaras are with the mantras. For begetting a wonderful children, then mantras has to be chanted. And then wonderful children are born, and there is a good population. That is how they are known as Dvija. Dvija means now the child is twice born, because with the mantras the child is born. The Garbhadhana Sanskara has been performed. That is why that child is Dvija. Dvija means he is introduced into spirituality, or he has been begotten with the aim of spirituality. So when the child is born with the aim of introducing the child in Krishna consciousness or introducing bhakti in the child, then that child is Dvija. Dvija means twice born. Like the first birth from the mother is always a Shudra birth. But if that is been begotten with great responsibility, then that is Dvija. So a person who is leading such type of life is actually a brahmachari. He knows to control his senses. So it's not just unmarried person is a brahmachari. No. In the beginning, this brahmacharyataha is given, this knowledge is given to every boy. So when he develops to restrain his senses, then he can be a good grahastha also. If he is not trained properly, then he cannot be a good grahastha. One who knows to control his senses is always a brahmachari. Even if he goes or he enters a grahastha ashrama, then he is actually, even in grahastha ashrama, he is actually a brahmachari. Brahmaniti janati brahmachari. Acharatihi. How is his acharana? His acharana is to progress in devotional service. Even if he is having a child, his aim is to introduce Krishna consciousness to the child, to develop the child in Krishna consciousness. So that is how a responsible population is created. Or it is only Varna Shankara. This Varna Sankara has been described in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna is expressing. Arjuna says, "Oh Lord, you are asking me to kill so many people, because in the war my grandfather will die, then so many my cousins will die, all the men will die. If the men will die, then what will happen to the women? The woman is uncared then. And in any of the rituals, there should be men. And if there is no man, then there is no ritual happening. You're asking me to kill so many people, then there will be the family tradition will be lost. And if the family tradition is lost, then there will be rise in Varnashankara, because the women of the society is unprotected. It is said women, children, ornaments, they should be protected very nicely. Women cannot be kept on the road. So now if you ask me to kill so many people, then if I kill everybody, then the whole family is destroyed. There will be only a woman who are all living. All the men are there in the war and they will all be killed. Then there will be only a woman left, and this woman is unprotected. And if she is unprotected, who is going to give sanskaras? Who is going to do samskaras? So if there is no samskara, then unwanted children will be born, uncared children will be born, who are not introduced in the varnashrama system. So that is what is the concern of Arjuna. In the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we can see there are 4 concerns which have been expressed by Arjuna to Krishna when Krishna is asking him to fight Dharma Yuddha, Dharma war, the war which is going to establish Dharma. Then in the further verses, in the further chapters, Krishna will pacify Arjuna and will tell him that how this Varnashrama is based on Dharma. Varnashrama is not just based on Adharma. And Krishna is trying to uproot Adharma. When he is telling to fight, he is actually trying to uproot Adharma. This Adharma is not following the 4 main religious principles, that is purity, austerity, truthfulness and compassion. And if these 4 religious principles are not followed, then what is the use of such so-called Varnashrama? It is not at all a Varnashrama, because Varnashrama is only for a human. And who is a human who has these 4 basic qualities? In fact, in the previous verses we saw 30 qualities should be there if he has to be recognized as a human. And if he is a human, he has to be put in sanskara. And if he is put in the sanskara, then he will beget very responsible children. Then the whole world will be very wonderful. There will be minimum sin which will be done. That is why here it is said, Brahmana, Kshatriya and the Vaishya, they have to undergo purificatory system. This purificatory process is known as samskaras. Then in the next verse, 14th verse, what is the duty of a Brahmana? Brahmana is supposed to study the scriptures. Brahmana is study the Vedas, worship the Lord and give charity. That is common for Brahmana also, Kshatriya also, Vaishya also. They have to study the scriptures, they should worship the Lord and they should give charity. Only Brahmana has the right to accept the charity. Others should not accept the charity. And in this way, in the next verse, Srila Prabhupada very nicely says, even a qualified Brahmana only can accept a charity. Not that just he is born as a Brahmana and he can ask a charity. No. But only a qualified Brahmana can accept a charity. So let us see the 14th verse. Viprasyadhyanadini Shalanyasya pratigraha Ragyo vrittihi prajagoptur Viprad vakaradibihi. Viprasya dhyayanadini. Viprasya means Brahmana. Vipra means Brahmana. Vishesha rupena pragya. When we say Brahmana, there are levels in Brahmana. First is Dvija. Dvija means twice born. He is put in the samskara. And Upanayanam sanskara, the Brahmana is given the Gayatri mantra. In this way, he is introduced to spirituality. And if right from the beginning, when the mother is training the child in Krishna consciousness, then actually he is Dvija even by the birth also. If the mother is Krishna conscious, very wonderful parents are there, both are Krishna conscious, both are God conscious, and they are introducing this God consciousness to the children right from the birth. Then right from the birth, he is not Shudra, he is in fact a Dvija. Dvija means twice born. And what is this twice born? He is introduced to spirituality. First is he is introduced to this material world. This is the first birth. Second birth is he is introduced to spirituality right from his birth. But if the father and mother are not so much aware, at least in the Upanayanam sanskara, It's known as Munja also in Marathi. So in the Upanayanam Sanskara, he is introduced to spirituality by getting the Gayatri mantra. Now this is known as Dvija, the first stage of Brahmana. Brahmaniti janati Brahmana. So first stage is Dvija. He is introduced to spirituality. Now what he should do? He should take advantage of this introduction. That means he should start reading the scriptures. He should worship the Lord. He should study the scriptures. Then he becomes Vipra, Vishesha Rupena Pragyaha. That means he is now intelligent to know the scriptures, to study the scriptures. He is intelligent to study the scriptures. But if he has not realized the scriptures, then what is the use of studying the scriptures? So only when he realizes the scriptures, Vedeshta Sarver Ahamev Vedyo Vedanta Krudved Videvachaham. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, I am to be known by the Vedas. I am the compiler of Vedas. So if a Brahmana who is now Vipra, who is studying the Vedas, he should know the essence of the Vedas is to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. If he knows this, then he is a Vaishnava. Now there is a Vaishnava who knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and serving Krishna is our constitutional position. Jivera Swarupo hai Krishna Nityadas. He may not be born in a Brahmana family. He may be born in a Chandala family. Chandala doesn't come in Varnashrama also. Chandala means one who is a dog eater. He doesn't come in the category of Shudra also. Such a person born in such a family of dog eaters family, if he knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is master, I am servant, then he is a Vaishnava. He is topmost in all the Brahmana. So Brahmana by birth, but he is not taking the advantage of his Brahmanical birth, then he is only a Dvija Bandhu. Dvija Bandhu means he is only a brother or a relative of a Brahmana. Like a relative of a judge need not be a judge. He may be called as a relative of a judge. A relative of a doctor need not be a doctor. In the same way, a relative of a Brahmana need not be a Brahmana. So Brahmana means he has a responsible position. And what is that responsibility? Adhyayana Adini. He should read the Vedas. Shat. Sat means six duties are there. To study Vedas, and he should teach Vedas also. That is the duty of a Brahmana. He should study also, he should teach also. Because the whole Varnashrama is actually guided by the Brahmanas. Brahmanas guide the Kshatriyas. The Brahmanas guide the Vaishyas. Brahmanas guide the Shudras. That means Brahmanas are considered the head of Lord. Lord's body, if you see the Lord's body, then Lord's head is considered to be the Brahmanas. The feet are considered to be the Shudras. The hands are considered to be the Kshatriyas. And the stomach is considered to be the Vaishyas. So in this way, the head is considered to be the Brahmana. Brahmana should teach the Veda, first learn the Vedas, study the Vedas, and also teach the Veda. That is the duty of the Brahmana. And what he should do? He should worship the deity. He should worship the Archa Vigraha. He should worship and he should also teach how to worship. That is the duty of a Brahmana. He should accept charity and he should know to give charity also. It is said when Brahmana gets a charity, he only keeps how much is required for him. The rest he gives in charity. That should be the attitude of Brahmana. Brahmana should not have this attitude of accumulation, because his accumulating tendency will actually deviate him from his wonderful gunas. It is not so easy to get a birth in a Brahmana family. Chaturvaranyam maya srushtam gunakarma vibhagasham. Because he has accumulated wonderful gunas from his previous life, he has got a wonderful birth as a Brahmana. Now, when he has got a wonderful birth as a Brahmana, he should know what are the duties of Brahmana. He should study scriptures. He should teach scriptures. He should worship the deity. He should teach how to worship the deity. Deities are persons. Tomara pratima nahi sakshat Brajendra Nandana. Krishna is not just pratima. Sakshat Brajendra Nandana. He should know how to worship the deities. He should offer bhogas. He should wake them up in the morning. He should know how to do the Mangalarti, Bhogarti, everything he should know. And in fact, not only he should know, he should teach others also. He should accept charity. and then keep how much is required, and then give charity also. These are all the wonderful qualities of a Brahmana. These are all the wonderful duties. Because he has wonderful qualities, he should do these duties. If he doesn't do this, what will happen? He is only a Dvija Bandhu. And then, other than Brahmanas, that is the Kshatriyas, they cannot accept charity. Kshatriyas are not supposed to accept charity. Generally, nowadays there is a trend in the marriage ceremony. They write no gifts, but a Brahmana should accept gift, and then he can give it to others who are in need. If a Brahmana says, please don't give me any gift, that is actually a wrong thing. Because by giving charity to a Brahmana, the other varnas, they are purified. That is why Brahmana should accept charity. If a charity is given, he should not say no gift. He should take it. And then what to do with that gift, that is the next priority. Then he should know how to give to others also who are in need. That is very much important. If somebody is giving you some gift, immediately you can give it. If you don't want it, you can give it to somebody who is in need. But other varnas, that is Kshatriya, should not accept charity from others. Rest 5 he can do. Rest 5 is he can read scriptures, he can teach scriptures, he can give charity, he can worship the deity, he can teach how to worship the deity. All that he can do. Then Ragyaha of the Kshatriyas, Vrittihi, the means of livelihood. Then Praja Guptuhu, who maintain the subjects. Suppose he is maintaining some subjects. Kshatriyas only can accept some offerings from those subjects whom he is maintaining. Out of love, somebody is giving. Oh, you are maintaining us. Please accept this charity. He can take that, he can take. Or he can take by levying some revenue taxes. Aviprata from those, but he should not levy taxes on Brahmana. He can levy taxes on others. Like Vaishyas, he can levy the taxes by levying revenue taxes, custom duties, fines for punishment, etc. Because it is a Kshatriya who takes the position of a king. Generally king, then the soldiers, they are all coming in the Kshatriya Varna. The Kshatriyas, they can give charity, but they can accept only those loving offerings to whom he has protected, or he can take some taxes, some fines of punishment, that is allowed. So in the purpose, Srila Vashwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains the position of the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas as follows. Brahmanas have 6 occupational duties, of which 3 are compulsory. That is studying Vedas, worshipping the deity, and giving charity. By teaching, by inducing others to worship the deity, by accepting gifts, the Brahmana receives the necessities of life. This is also confirmed in Manu Samhita. Shannam tu karmanamasya trini karmani jivikaha yajanadhyapane chaiva vishuddha cha pratigraha. Of the 6 occupational duties of the Brahmanas, 3 are compulsory. That is worship of the deity, studying the Vedas, and the giving of the charity. In exchange, Brahmana should receive charity, and this should be his means of livelihood. Brahmana should not take up any professional occupation for his livelihood. But we see nowadays who are born in the Brahmana family, he is going to office, he is doing some other task. That means he is actually doing the work of a Shudra. Shudra is always dependent on others. That is why Kalo Shudraha Sambhava. In this Kali Yuga, you will not find a perfect Brahmana. Because the Brahmana is going and working under somebody. Brahmana should teach scriptures. And when he teaches scriptures, then he gets some dakshina. He should maintain his livelihood with that dakshina. It is not that you go and do some office work. You send your child to the school, and in the school they are teaching something, and the Brahmana is becoming an engineer or a doctor. Actually, he is not a Brahmana. He is not a Brahmana because he is not learning the scriptures. In the Gurukul system, the scriptures were taught, and certain duties only were allowed for the Brahmana. He should teach, he should learn, he should teach, he should worship, he should teach to worship. He can give charity, he can accept charity, and that acceptance of the charity will become the livelihood for the Brahmana. That is why in Kali Yuga you don't find any proper Brahmana. The Brahmana's son become an engineer or a doctor or a clerk. He goes and becomes a railway, he joins some railways. So in this way, actually he is not a Brahmana. Brahmana should not take up any professional occupational duty for his livelihood. That is why we should be ashamed to call ourselves a Brahmana. If we are born in a Brahmana family, don't have a pride to say I am a Brahmana, because we are not doing Brahmanical duty. Better is chant the holy name, and at least we can come to the stage of Vaishnava, who is the topmost of Brahmanas. At least we can take a pride of calling ourselves a Vaishnava if we are chanting the holy name. Because if we take the pride of calling ourselves a Brahmana, then the question arises, are you really doing the Brahmana work? We are not doing the Brahmana work. Then we cannot call ourselves a Brahmana. But a Vaishya can be from any Varna. If he is chanting the holy name of Krishna, then that is enough. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he knows the condition of Kali Yuga people. In Kali Yuga, everybody is actually a Shudra. Kalau Shudraha Sambhavaha. The Shastras especially stress that if one claims to be a Brahmana, he cannot engage in the service of anyone else. See, this line is very wonderful. Srila Prabhupada especially says, if he is claiming to be a Brahmana, he should not work under somebody. Otherwise, he falls from that position and becomes a Shudra. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they came from Saraswat Brahman family, but they engaged themselves in the Nawab Hussain Shah, in the service of Nawab Hussain Shah. Not even as ordinary clerk, they were ministers. But they were ostracized from Brahminical society. All the Brahmins, they just neglected them because they were working under Nawab Hussain Shah as ministers. Indeed, they became like Mohammedans and even changed their names. Unless a Brahmana is very pure, he cannot accept charity from others. Charity should be given to those who are pure. Even if one is born in a family of Brahmanas, if one acts a Shudra, one cannot accept charity, for this is strictly prohibited. Although the Kshatriyas are almost as qualified as the Brahmanas, even they cannot accept charity. This is strictly prohibited in this verse by the word Apratigraha. What to speak of the lower social orders? Even the Kshatriyas must not accept charity. The king or government may levy taxes upon the citizens in various ways, by revenue duties, by custom duties, then realization of fines, and so on, provided the king is able to give full protection to his subjects, to assure the security of their life and property. Unless he is able to give protection, he cannot levy taxes. However, a king must not levy any tax upon Brahmana and the Vaishnavas fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. So this is very important. King should not levy any tax on the Brahmana or any Vaishnavas who are engaged in Krishna consciousness. Generally, when we go through the toll naka, we are allowed to go. Some of the very wonderful workers who are there, or the in charge who are there, we just tell them that we are going for the missionary work. Then they allow us to go. Whoever is engaged in the missionary work, they should not be allowed, they should not be asked this toll, taxes and all these things. They should not be allowed, because they are sacrificing their everything for the propagation of Krishna consciousness. That is why here in this line, that levying taxes on Brahmanas and Vaishnavas should not be done by the government. Kshatriya means one who is taking care of this government. So the government should not levy taxes on the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas and the Vaishnavas, especially the Vaishnavas, because the Vaishnavas are interested in the preaching movement. And if we give them the burden of paying the taxes, then what will the Vaishnava do? Then he has to also go for some occupational work. A Vaishnava work should be reading the scriptures, spreading the scriptures. That is how the Brahmana should be encouraged to do these duties. If a Brahmana is levied the taxes, then what happens? The Brahmana, out of necessity, takes up another work. If he is given the protection by the government, if the Kshatriyas are protecting the Brahmanas, then Brahmana will be engaged in reading, studying, teaching. So that protection was there in the earlier times. The kings used to have big temples made, and the Brahmanas were given the engagement within the temples itself. The deities were worshipped by the Brahmanas. Brahmanas used to teach in the Gurukul. So they were given the engagement by the Kshatriyas. And whatever necessity for them, like cow, land, they used to be given as charity. So Brahmana can engage himself in the production of the crop, because land he has got and he has got the cow, so he can tend the cows. So he can at one time come at the platform of a Vaishya and do the work of the Vaishya also. Because if he has got the land, naturally he has to do some agriculture. And if he has got the cows, then he can milk the cows, and remaining milk he can give as charity. So in this way, by tending the cows, that is the work of a Vaishya. So Brahmana can extend this, extend his duties to even to Vaishya duties also, because Brahmanas are generally protected by the Kshatriyas, and the charity is also given to the Brahmanas. वैश्यस्तु वार्तावृत्तिः स्यात् नित्यं ब्रह्मकुलायुगः शूद्रस्य द्विजशुश्रूष वृत्तिश्च स्वामिनो भवेत्. So in the previous verse now Kshatriya should not accept charity, other all five they can do. Now what Vaishyas should do? Vaishyas should always follow the directions of the Brahmanas and engage in the occupational duties like agriculture, trade and protection of the cows. Vaishyastu vartaha vrittihi syad. Vartaha vrittihi. Varta vritti means engage in agriculture, cow protection and trade. And then nityam brahmakula anugaha. They should follow the directions of the Brahmanas. And then shudrasya dvija shushrushaha. For the Shudras, the only duty is to accept a master from a higher social order and engage in his service. Shudrasya dvija shushrushaha vrittischa swamino bhave. Dvija. There are three people who come in the category of dvija. That is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. If they are born with sanskaras, and if all the sanskaras are done perfectly, then these three come in the category of dvija. That means now he is twice born, he is introduced to the spirituality. That means a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, for whom the purificatory processes has been done, sanskaras has been done. Beginning with Garbhadhana sanskara. So if these sanskaras are done, then they are coming in the higher sections. They are Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas. So Shudras, what they should do, they should engage their life in serving the higher class. And in this way, that becomes their means of livelihood. See how nicely the whole human society is divided into Varnashrama. When you say human society, means that human should have 30 qualities. Then only he can be categorized as a human. And when that society is made up of this human society, then he is introduced Varnashrama system, where sanskaras are introduced right from the Garbhadhana sanskara. Only for Shudras, this sanskara is without the mantras. But this Garbhadhana sanskara is introduced for everyone. So in this way, these three, they come in the higher section, they are known as Dvija. Why Dvija? They have the qualification to study the scriptures. Shudra cannot study the scriptures. It is only Vaishya, that is Kshatriya and the Brahmana. Brahmana, Kshatriya and the Vaishya, they can study the scriptures. But generally Vaishyas, they engage in agriculture, trade and the protection of the cows. So the studying the scriptures is the work of Brahmana and the Kshatriya. They can teach scriptures also. Brahmana, Kshatriya can teach scriptures also. What is the duty of a Shudra? He should engage himself in their service. Varta vichitraha shalinaya nayaya shiloshchanam vipruttish chaturdheyam shreyasi chottaro. Varta means the occupational means of livelihood for the Vaishya. In the previous verse also you said Vaishyastu Vartaha Vritti. Varta means agriculture, trade, cow protection. These are all the livelihood for Vaishyas. Vichitraha, in this various types are there. Shalinaha, livelihood achieved without effort. Yayavaha, going to the field to beg for some paddy. Sheelaha, picking up some grains left in the field by the protector. Vachanam, picking up the grains that have fallen from the bags in the shop. Vipravrittihi, the means of livelihood for the Brahmanas. Chaturdaha, four different kinds. Iyam this, Shreyasi better, cha also Uttaraha, the later compared to the former. As an alternative, suppose a Brahmana is not having any livelihood, there is nobody to protect him. Then what more he can do? What is the means of livelihood for him? So as an alternative, a Brahmana may also take to the Vaishya occupational duty, that is agriculture, cow protection, trade. He may depend on that which he has received without begging. He may beg in the paddy field every day. He may collect paddy left in a field by its proprietor, or he may collect food grains left here and there in the shops of grain dealers. These are the four means of livelihood that may also be adopted by the Brahmana. Among these four, each of them is succession is better than the preceding one. That means he may depend on that which has been received without begging. So this is wonderful. If he has got something without begging, he can depend on that. Or little lower than that is, he may go and beg in the paddy field. So somebody is removing the paddies, he can beg there. Or little less than that is, whatever left out that he can collect and bring. That is how Madhukari is done. Whatever is left, the begging is Madhukari. And if he is not doing Madhukari, okay, whatever is left he brings. And then more lower to that is, whatever left in the shop that he takes and brings. Because to sustain this human body, some livelihood should be there. A Brahmana is sometimes offered land and cows in charity. Then what he does, he takes it and he acts in the way of a Vaishya by cultivating land, giving protection to the cows, trading of his surpluses. He can do that. Something surplus is there. If he has to maintain his family, if he has some more expenses, he can trade off that surpluses. If he is satisfied with whatever he has, then he can give that as a charity. But he has some necessities, like he has to purchase vegetables. Then what he can do? He can sell this and purchase the vegetables. Not that everything is grown in the agriculture. He may have a rice, he may have a paddy field. But then there are other necessities also. He has to buy some oil, he has to buy something for cooking. Then he can, whatever he has, he can keep. The rest he can sell and he can buy the other necessities. That is allowed. And better process, however, is to pick up the grains from a field or a dealer's shop without begging. That also he can do. He can go and take it, whatever is remaining, that also he can take. Among these four, each of them is succession is better than the other preceding it. So this is like what is the best thing? It is not that the first one is the best thing, the last one is the best thing. If he begs, that is the best. Or if he gets without begging, that is also the best. So in this way, it is going on. A better process is to pick up the grains from the field or from a dealer's shop without begging. Now, if he gets some remnants without begging, that is the best. Or if he gets some paddy which is left in the proprietor, that is also the best. And if he cultivates his own farm, that is okay. But then if he goes and begs in somebody's house, somebody's field, that is considered to be little okay. But then what is the best thing? Without begging he is getting, then that is the best. Without begging, if he is getting some remnants, that is the best. So in this way, the whole process is, whatever he may do, either he is begging or he is not begging, he is having his own field, he should maintain simple living. That is the foremost. What is the best, what is not the best, that is not even the priority. What is the priority? Brahmana means simple living, high thinking. He should read the Vedas, he should teach the Vedas. He should worship the deity, he should teach how to worship the deity. He can accept charity, he can give charity. If he can accept the charity, that is best. If he has some surplus, he should know to give also. So these are the wonderful qualities of a Brahmana, and these are the duties of a Brahmana. And in emergency, it is given emergency Jaganyo Nottama Mrittim Anapadi Janeshwara Rutte Rajanyama Pastu Sarveshamapi Sarvashaha. Except in a time of emergency, lower persons should not accept the occupational duties of those who are higher. When there is such emergency, of course, everyone but Kshatriya may accept the means of livelihood of others. Everyone but the Kshatriya. That means Kshatriyas are not allowed to do others' duty, but others can do. So in this way, there are a lot of if and buts in what type of duty a person can do according to the nature he has accrued. Now again, by birth means by the nature what he has. So tomorrow we'll see what are the other duties, who are the other varnas who can do other duties in emergency. If there is an emergency, then Vaishya also can do some duty and Shudras also can do. What are that? Let us see tomorrow in the tomorrow's class at 17th verse, where Srila Prabhupada has given further description. Hare Krishna.